'Tis the season for Sansevieria flowers. Technically, Sansevieria inflorescences, which are stalks of flowers. Check out this Sansevieria African Spears. Look at this really long inflorescence. Each of these tiny tubes is an unopened flower. There's a bunch of Sansevieria throughout the greenhouse that seem to all be blooming around the same time, and so the hope is, Gabriella After Dark, we're gonna be doing Sansevieria hybridization. And wouldn't you know, look at this inflorescence here. Flowers that are open! Okay, so, for science, I'm removing one of these to show you. When it comes to the parts of a flower, there's two parts, the male and the female parts, okay? Do you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 filaments here? There's stamens and anthers that on the tip of them have this pad that can deposit pollen off of it. Then, in the middle of the flower, is this one part here, the pistil. That, the style and stigma on the pistil, is the female part. And so, when it comes to potentially hybridizing a Sansevieria, what we'll need to do is we'll need to take the pollen from the male part of one of them and apply it to the tip of the female part of another one. Then what happens is that pollen grain travels down this tube into the ovary that's inside down here, fertilizes the egg, and that is what becomes a seed of a Sansevieria hybrid. So, I say, let's go hunt around the greenhouse and see who's blooming. It should also be noted that Sansevieria inflorescences have incredible fragrance. Some of them is a little off-putting, but some of them are wonderful. And so we actually discovered this Sansevieria. This is a Sansevieria hybrid, Sansevieria ballyi x aubrytiana, and it smells like the warmest cinnamon sugar. I know department stores that would kill to have this fragrance on their shelves. It is stunning. And so, look, we have two inflorescences with multiple flowers on each of them blooming. Look at that. Wow. The shape, you can see the form of this Sansevieria is very, very interesting. And so when it comes to creating Sansevieria hybrids, to creating any hybrids, if you have the ability to choose which parents you want to cross with, at least me personally, I want to make the weirdest, craziest plant there is. And so I want to go check and see who else is blooming to know who we have to play with. Check out this field of Sansevieria trifasciata Bantel sensation. Look at all of the inflorescences, and some of them have popped. They're open. Look at this. Oh, wow, I do not like that. That is very bitter. That is not, no, I would not wear that. But because it is emitting a fragrance, that is just another telltale sign that it is receptive now. All right, so we met the three suitors. Let's figure out how we can blend these genetics to make the coolest Sansevieria hybrids possible. I think it would be really, really cool if we could keep the genetics of Sansevieria African Spears, which can get over 8 feet tall, and we mixed it with Sansevieria trifasciata Bantel sensation and got some of this variegation in. Could you imagine if we could get an 8-foot tall Sansevieria that was striped with this beautiful cream and white variegation? That would be, yeah, that would be amazing. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm going to use the African Spears as the seed donor, so as the female plant, and we're going to take pollen from Bantels and we're going to apply it here. So what that means is I'm going to take off the flower. All right, so we've taken flower from Bantels. I'm going to remove the female part. I'm going to then put all these together into a little makeshift paintbrush with pollen on the end. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna put it here, I'm gonna dab, dab, dab on the tip. I have one back here. I'm going to dab, dab on the tip, and then this one on this side. I could potentially try to use this for more, but since we have a bunch of flowers available, I'm going to aim to use as much pollen as possible, and every new flower has the most amount of pollen, so I'm going to use a new flower every couple flowers to make sure it is still delivering pollen. As well, because there are so many flowers on this inflorescence and they aren't all open, I need to mark so I know which ones I've actually tried to pollinate. So I'm going to go ahead and use this Sharpie and I'm going to put a mark right here. Okay, and so now process continues. Take the flower. With that, I think we just successfully crossed Sansevieria African Spears with Sansevieria trifasciata Bantel sensation. Let's see. All right, so now we're going to take pollen from Sansevieria trifasciata Bantel sensation and put it onto the flowers of this larger inflorescence of the Sansevieria ballyi x aubrytiana. I will say I really enjoy being breeder here at Gabriel Plants. There's nothing quite like Gabriel after dark. No one else is here. It's quiet. You can hear nature. It's just kind of me and the plants. And this is a tedious, time-consuming task, but you know what? It's for the effort and the drive of always growing more. And I mean, what's cooler than a plant that is yet to be created? So this inflorescence here, we crossed with Bantel sensation. So now for this smaller inflorescence, what I want to do is I want to cross it with a different parent. I want to try to extract pollen by removing the stamens, the male parts of these African Spears flowers without destroying the actual flower itself, because the flower itself was just pollinated. And so I want to take just the pollen part off, leave the rest there, and then use that to fertilize these. All right, so we're going to, right there, take this. All right, so look at that. We have 3 potential new Sansevieria hybrids we just created here tonight, Gabriel After Dark. Always in the attempt of always growing more. In the upcoming months, hopefully as these are successful and the berries begin to develop, we'll keep you updated. Until then.